Hello, Beez Bladers. Welcome back and welcome newcomers to the channel. Do you know what this is? Well, this is not the TSPROF Blitz or Blitz Pro. I've shown you this one, and it's also not the TSPROF Cadet. Oh yeah, and I love both of these. But wait until you see what's in this box. And yes, this is the box that it comes in. This is the TSPROF K03 Pro Hunter. And I've never, ever seen packaging like this before. Can you believe it? I mean, would you look at it? Just look at it. We'll get all this sharpening goodness out and then I'll show you how it works. First of all, you get a USB cable and then we have, oh yeah, we have our sharpening rods here. If I could get them out with my not so skinny fingers. Ooh, oh yeah, I'm excited. This is gonna be fun. And then it also comes with a full set of diamonding? I can't even speak. Diamond sharpening stones. They range from 150 to 220 to 400, 600, and 1,000 grit. And let me give you a quick look at these bad boys. Yeah, that's the good stuff. Now let's see what's underneath here. Oh boy, I'm excited. I am so excited. This is a professional sharpening system without a doubt. There you go. It's your passport. And ooh, we have some goodies in here. And I don't normally do unboxings, but I think when you get something of this caliber, I should show you what it looks like when you're getting it out of the literal box. And here's your two clamps. And by the way, you can use the clamps from the other sharpening systems on the TSPROF K03. So there's a couple clamps, and let's see what, oh, look at there. If you want, you can clamp it to the table. Not that you're gonna need to. Wait until you see the base that comes on this bad boy. And it has all these little goodies in it. Rubber parts to put on the bottom of it, a couple Allen wrenches. We'll get into this in just a second. And look at this fanciness. Oh my goodness. This is like space age technology. Can you tell what it is? Can you tell how it's gonna set up? We're gonna set it up here in just a minute. And I almost missed a little goodie. There's just all kinds of goodies. Oh yeah, I know where these go, and I'm gonna show you where this stuff goes here in just, I keep saying in just a minute. Well, enjoy it. Just enjoy it with me. Look at this. Here's the big base. And this base, and I'm not talking about base. I'm talking about, oh my goodness. This thing is, oh, seriously? It's screwed into the box. I'm gonna have to use one of the Allen wrenches. Or wait a minute, will I be able to, okay, here we go. I was like, okay, I know this base is gonna be heavy, but it can't be that heavy. Oh no, it is that heavy. If you get one of these, holy cow. I'll put up on the screen how much this bad boy weighs. All right, let's put this bad boy together. The base weighs 7.4 pounds. I had to weigh it. I know it says it somewhere, but I weighed it. 7.4 pounds, and it comes with these little doodads, the little rubber deals you can put on the bottom if you don't want to clamp it to a bench. But with this weight, it did not move on me whatsoever. So I don't think that's an issue. Unless you want to make it a little more permanent, it does come with a 2-inch clamp. The system, even though it's complicated, it's not complicated. Like what I mean is the parts and everything are so well machined. There are two of these bad boys to clamp it down onto the base, which, man, I gotta tell you, I really love this heavy duty base. But pretty much your main parts are just putting these bad boys in here, and then it's clamped down and you're ready to rock and roll. Now that we have the rack and pinion attached to the base, all we have to do is put on our clamps. These clamps do not need calibrated. They are ready to rock and roll right out of the box. So you do come with, and the one nice thing about there are so many nice things about this system. I mean, you can tell it is a pro system, but you don't have to use the Allen wrenches for anything other than tightening down the clamps to the knife. I'm gonna make sure I put both of these facing the same direction. That way, when I do want to clamp down a knife, that I'm not gonna have tightening on one side and then have to flip it for the other. The clamps will go from anywhere from a 60 millimeter blade all the way up to a 400 millimeter blade. You could put a machete on here, no problem, and sharpen a machete. And to show you an example, this is an 8.5-inch butcher's knife, and you can see that I have the clamp spread out farther than this will even reach. So you're not gonna have any problem sharpening from very small knives, 2.4 inches up to 17.7-inch blades. And the clamps can handle a blade thickness up to 7 millimeters. So you're talking about, you could put a super chonker in these bad boys. One thing that I really like about this, besides the fact that this does have the widest range of blade shapes or sizes that you could fit on any of the 3 different systems of TSPROF, this one, when you have the blade clamp, you could just go like this with the knife on there. There's not a separate clamp or something separate that you have to depress to turn it. You can also, right here, you can adjust the tension on how much pressure it takes to turn the blade. So if you have a heavy blade on there, you want a little more tension, you can tighten this down or loosen it, whichever direction. That will decide how much tension or pressure it takes to unlock it, to turn the knife back to the other side. The rack and pinion, oh my goodness, you talk about super smooth. Up and down, you can make fine, minute adjustments back and forth, up and down, and then you can just one little twist and you can tighten it to keep it at what angle you've found. Every bit of this system is just buttery, and I mean buttery smooth. You can tell that a lot of thought was put into it, and once you have everything adjusted, you can always lock it down so it doesn't go anywhere. This you can adjust for different heights, and you don't have to worry about adjusting this for different blade thicknesses because of the AXA Cube. Now the AXA Cube, oh my gosh, that thing is heavy, is awesome. This is part of the abrasive holder itself. And by the way, this is a universal abrasive holder. You can either have the beveled plates or you can use the flat plates. You're not held back by whatever stones you want to switch back and forth. And when you do switch stones, you don't have to worry about adjusting because the AXA Cube is it's on a 3-axis. It's not like the regular cube. I have mine, it's somewhere around here, but you know what I'm talking about, a leveling cube. That one is on a single axis. This is on a triple axis, so it maintains measuring your angle. And I'll show you just here in a second, it is very easy to calibrate. You calibrate it one time and you don't have to recalibrate it unless you move to a different surface. But as long as you're on the same surface, you don't even have to recalibrate this bad boy. And it is USB-C chargeable, right there it is, and it will last up to 6 hours on a single charge, and you could plug it in between sharpenings or when you take a break or anything like that. Just so you know how this is configured, this is the long slide. All you have to do is first put your stopper on facing the outward direction, followed by one of the small screws, and you'll understand why I'm telling you this, and then you're going to put it through the rack and pinion. Put the long portion through the top right here, and then put your other small spring, and then lastly, your blade stop. You have 2 blade stops. First is going to be this one for one direction, and the second is going to be this for the next direction. You can see the spring is going to act as a stop when you're on the upswing, and then this here, it will be on the down. So you can adjust so you never come off the blade of your knife. And also this acts as your rest. There is going to rest just like this. And this is where you put your small size rod in. So you can put the small size rod in after you've added all of this. I've backed out to give you an idea of what it looks like all together. And from this end to this end, it is 28.5 inches. So you do need some room. If you have a smaller workspace, this might not work. As long as you have an open table, or if you're outside, you like sharpening outside, you're gonna be good to go. To calibrate the K03 Pro, it does come with this angle right here, which is gonna put it at a perfect 14 degrees. You'll put this right to the end and then tighten this down. I have it almost ready to be tightened down just like that. So once that is tightened, you'll want to bring this to the center, tighten that. It is nice and solid. Now we can calibrate the AXA Cube 1. Something that I definitely should mention is that if you have the K03 and not the K03 Pro, you can still get the angle finder, the AXA Cube 1, to replace your current system so you don't have to use the cube you're probably using now. So now rest your angle finder on this ramp, or the calibration ramp, if you will. Bring this slide right here to stop it, to keep it where it's at. And lastly, bring this down and stop that. So now everything is staying in place where you want it. This angle is set to a perfect 14 degrees. So when you set this on here, adjust the rack and pinion until this is absolutely flush with the 14 degrees. And how I've found to make sure you're 100% is to get a small flashlight, shine on the other side until no light comes on either side or the middle, and you know you're on a perfect 14-degree angle. So I've held my flashlight on this side and I've watched at eye level and made sure that this is completely flat. Now I'll turn on the AXA Cube 1, and as you can see, it's right there, right at the 14 degree already, and it's within 0.1. So to calibrate, you just hold the button down for 6 seconds, and then once it starts flashing, you can let it flash for a minute, and then you push the button, and then it's going to be calibrated. You're going to be right there at see, there you go, 14 degrees. I'm going to put one of the stones on here to show you. You can see right there that it goes inside of that bevel. And then on this side, and I'm doing this very awkwardly for the camera, I'm going to push down on this spring so there's a little bit of tension, and then I'm going to tighten this right here. And now we are set and ready to go. Also, once you have your abrasive on here, have the abrasive facing upwards. And then once you've decided where your stop is going to be, make sure that the stop is the opposite direction of your abrasive. That way, when you want to rest and move it out of the way, it will sit on top of the bar. It makes it so much easier if you line that first. So when you're sharpening, all you do is turn it upside down and you can slide it out of the way to turn your blade. I'm going to show you what it looks like to put a larger blade in here. If you're using a smaller blade, you can put both clamps on one side so that you have less of a span. But in this case, I'm going to use a larger blade just for illustration purposes. I'm going to clamp this down and I'm going to clamp this down to where I'm going to want them. Then you just tighten these bad boys. And of course you can use any Allen wrench you have that is the same size. And these clamps do not bend. You don't want to over tighten them, but it doesn't take very much at all and it will not let go. And you can always use some painter's tape on your blade or the top of the spine to protect your knife if you're worried about a finish. This thing is very solid. The K03 Pro, I'm sure the K03 is just the same. There is no movement up or down, left or right. It is very solid. Your blade doesn't move, so you're not going to have to worry about deviations when you're putting pressure coming up or on the down swipe. Now you set your stops. You don't want to come up off the blade, so I always leave a little bit of extra room, and then I'm going to get my stop, loosen it, bring it up to here, so that way I'm not going to go too far, and then you're going to loosen this one up here and come down and make sure that you're not going to come off of the blade at any point. So right there, I'm comfortable, and I'm going to tighten this. So it's very nice that it has a spring on the up and on the down slide. Now that you have your blade clamped in, you can turn this on, and of course you can adjust to whatever angle you want to be at. You can see right now it's at 19.1, and that's where I would sharpen this particular knife, or I can move it to whatever angle I want, all the way up to 38 degrees if I want to. But that is just a simple overview of how you use the AXA Cube. And of course, you don't have to use this. You can always go off of whatever angle. You don't have to go by this angle, but it is very nice to check while you're sharpening. And once you have your burr on both sides and you're going to switch, you can move it just 1 degree just to get there a little quicker. Now, if you have the TSPROF K03 and not the K03 Pro Hunter, you can get an upgraded lifting mechanism. So all of you folks that have been using the K03 and maybe you're wanting to step it up a little notch and get this new the new lefty. Yeah, you can use it lefty or righty, but that is available on top of the fact that you'll be able to use the AXA Cube. Now, the AXA Cube is not interchangeable with the Cadet and the Blitz. If you're watching this before May 31st of 2023, then you could actually go, I'll have a link in the description of this video and the pinned comment, the top comment when you look below, you can go click that and you will go there and you can get entered to win one of these systems. They're giving away 3 or 4 of their complete systems. There's a bunch of stuff they're giving away and you have until May 31st of 2023. So hopefully you're watching this video and you could click that link and go there and get entered into that. I hope this video was helpful in giving you a little taste, a little quick overview of the TSPROF K03 Pro Hunter. If you want to see my other videos, I will put links in the description where you could go check them out too to see which one might fit your needs the best. Definitely at some point in time, I will do a quick comparison between these 3 versions to help you out, but I don't know how soon that will be. But if you want the smaller knives, you can go with the Blitz Pro, you can go with the Cadet, and then the biggest options, your largest range of knife sizes is definitely going to be with the K03 Pro Hunter. So I hope you're having a fantastic day. Go check out the link, support the channel if you're going to go get one, or if you want to go just check them out. Go watch this video. You're going to enjoy that. And until I see you again in the chats or at the live streams on Friday night, remember, live life in the present, keep a Band-Aid handy, and don't cut yourself. check.